as well. When my time is up, just come and drag me, even if I'm shaking and screaming, because at times I do get really animated. And I also want to ask, I hope you don't mind if I cheat and look at some of my notes once in a while, because I feel I need to pass everything across. I also want to thank the previous speakers for what they've delivered. I caught the one this morning, and I can assure you I'll be watching every single one when the videos are out. Growing money trees. Why do we need to grow money trees? A few people would wonder that, okay, I have a money tree, and a few people, I think we all know what a money tree is by now. Or if you're not sure, do you want us to talk a bit more about what's a money tree, or do we all understand? Okay. Okay, so people want to make me work hard a bit. Okay, so a money tree is something that generates income. Simple. And the more you have, the better. So I grew up with this story about the golden goose. There's this goose that lays a golden egg. And when it lays that egg, almost like our salary, when you get it, for those who are sort of in salary, you get your salary once a month. And what happens? So there's going to be one credit and about 50 debits on the same day. The next day, no credit. So it's almost like relentless. And what that man did in that story was he just felt, okay, given this goose is laying his egg, it's so slow. I need to be able to get more eggs, and there'll be more eggs in this goose. And he decided to just kill the goose in order to extract all the eggs. And what did he find? Nothing. The reason why we need to grow money trees is that we need to have other sources of things that are coming. And why do we need other sources? We need other sources because whether we like it or not, cost of living is rising. Expectations are rising. What you bought for £1 today might be £50 in another 5-10 years. And even if you disregard all those, if you have children, university fees are going up, you have people looking up to you, and generally your standard of living now gets constrained if you have just one source. And we'll go into, so we've talked about possessing the land yesterday and today, so I won't go into that. But I'll talk about introducing growing the money trees. One of the things that fascinated me, and I'll take you through my own journey. I'm an accountant originally. I moved into more of business partnering, deal facilitation. I discovered that about 5-10 years ago, I was handling and managing personally responsible and having the ownership. So this is not me working as part of a team. I had personal ownership of it, professional ownership of it. And recently I did a deal, I was in charge of a deal worth over 140 billion. And a lot of people were saying, Emmanuel, we trust you with our money, we trust you with this, with the finances, you get it right. But when I looked at my own finances, it was a far cry from the performance that I was giving day in, day out. And why is that? The reason is we've spent all our life learning how to grow one money tree. It's not our fault, but that's how the way education has been structured. Education has been structured because in those days, community was just and equitable. And the feeling was, come through the system, learn a skill, learn a trade, and you're able to contribute to the society. And because you're contributing to the society, we would be able to give you something to live and be a good member of society, which is why even our parents always insist, read, because that was the mindset. Unfortunately, that mindset has changed several years ago, and we've moved into a society, into what we call a megatropolis, which means every man for himself. And there's that saying around, I need to do what is good for me. People no longer care about the society. And if all we've been trained to do is grow one money tree, you now discover that there is shortfalls because that money tree is not providing enough for you to even survive. I don't know how many people have overdrafts. I don't know how many people have credit cards. Don't worry, don't be ashamed. All of us do. But God is going to help us move out of that.
Amen.
But moving out of that, I discovered I was praying a lot. There was a time, Tendai will know me for that. I spent a lot of time really praying hard, saying, I need a divine revelation. I need to, God, bless me. Miraculous. In fact, I was daydreaming it as well. Then God now didn't answer me. He just felt just so lazy, you know. And he showed me a vision of a friend of mine as well, who we always sit together and say, if I have 50 million, this is how I will spend it. I will buy this, I will do this, I will do that, I will do this. On his 40th, I went to Canada to visit him. He still told me that same thing. That, if I can just get 50 million, if I can just, I'll do this and that. So God now showed me that stop wasting your time with prayers. It's time for you to start growing money trees. Because it's not about that one thing you've been trained to do. It's about what God has put in you. So there's also a Bible story as well, which I need to charge people for this insight. So there's this story about this man who was given one seed or one talent, and he buried it, he didn't use it. There were people who got, the person gave 3, gave 5, they multiplied, but this person with 1 didn't use it. And I spent years, I've even preached about it, at times even getting really excited, that you need to use your gift, you need to use your talent, bring it out. But God now showed me that, but I always felt it's unjust. How can he be given just 1? Why wasn't he given 2 or 3 or 5? That means he was limited. But suddenly God now said, no, he that is given the minimum has the maximum capacity. Because God is just. He wouldn't give much to somebody who is already empowered. And I'll give you an example. If you are playing football with kids, for example, and you are grown up, you might just tell them, okay, you people have 5, we have 0. Because that's the way God works. He would give the minimum to people with the maximum potential. And he now said, forget about that 1 talent I've given him. Because in the parable of the sower, 1 seed was able to give 100, 60-fold, and multiple-fold. That 1 talent was given, he could have multiplied it to 100 and defeat all those who had 3 or 5. So therefore, I want to encourage you, don't look down on yourself that I only have a salary, I only have this business, I've been struggling with this business, and even with this business, the pastor prays for me, myself, I try, it's hard to make ends meet. I want you to know that you have the maximum in you, and you need to make that minimum into the maximum. So the first step of the money tree, people will be coming up now and be talking about different things. I want us to listen attentively. Because another mistake we do is because we've learned to grow one tree all our lives. We want to apply the same principle in growing another money tree. So we want to start another business from scratch and start thinking about it, doing all the work, I don't know how many people are over 30 years here. We don't have that time any longer. But we also don't have time to waste the little resources we have. The sweet spot is identifying people who have dedicated their time and lives in growing another money tree and partnering with them. You don't have to plant seeds and be open to the weather, the risk of you not understanding the soil type and everything, you can just go and buy one that is already in full flow and plant it, and that will begin to give you fruits. No wonder even Jesus said, by their fruits you will know them. And what he's talking about is your outputs, the outcome. You have one money tree to start. I'll give us a tip as well. That one money tree, don't despise it. Because at times, there was a time I was so focused on, I wanted to do so many things, I now hated what I was doing. And because I hated what I was doing, I started living on past glory. And I don't know how many of us would relate to this, whereby, how many minutes do I have? Okay. So, past glory means you are thinking about, you are not improving on what you're doing because you've done it before, you have the skills. And what you now discover is that because you're living on past glory, you are stale, you are not active, you are not competitive. You now become someone that gets passed over. And what do? Start complaining about this too much politics in this week. Then they like themselves, they talk behind themselves. They don't recognize me. Yes, they don't recognize you because you are no longer competitive. So start with your first money tree. Make sure you refertilize it. And there are a lot of tips around this. Many years ago, I was doing a lot of work, handling a lot of transactions, things like that, really busy, stretched out. At times I was too tired to pray. And my salary was peanuts. Even to make us laugh, I was working in a company many years ago as well, where they were giving us official cards. I was getting a brand new car every 6 months. And the car I was driving was more than my annual salary. You can imagine, I just felt that's not right. That's not right. What you are earning today can be multiplied. Amen. Because your current money tree will be the shade you use to plant the other ones. And don't waste time trying to plant 10 trees at the same time. Just one. Establish the one you have now. Make sure, I'm going to tell us something. People say don't give up. People say don't give in. I'll say don't give out. Don't eat your seed you are getting from the current money tree. Because if you kill the goose that's laying the golden egg, you wouldn't have any egg left. So make sure you work on that one, then actively listen to the, one of the things I find really that's a blessing is understanding money. It's transformed my life, and that's why I'm always making out time to be part of this vision. When I started coming to understanding money, I was like everyone. In fact, my overdraft was really active. It was so active, the bank was calling me to say, look, we don't even know how you are running because this overdraft is like you are running your own bank. But we thank God that through understanding money, I now realize that, okay, don't give out, start planning, start doing a lot of things, because even love and relationships, someone told me, and this was my own mom, she told me, she said, look, I'm your mother, I'm a woman, but I like money. Relationship thrives on the monetary commitment. Based on statistics, what kills most relationship is stress of money. Because you are constantly chasing one money tree, trying to make ends meet. But you know your capacity isn't limited to what one tree is giving you. You know your capacity to help. It requires like 4 or 5 of those trees. And you are now using that capacity to give out, but what's coming in isn't matching up. So the solution is you need to grow more trees. There will be speakers coming today talking about different trees. Key into the one you are attracted to. Know yourself, understand yourself, see which one you are attracted to, and go for it. Some people say, it's them, it's all these people. No, it's about your life. It's about you. It's about, there's this Maslow hierarchy of needs, that the base needs are the basic needs that are feeding, our eating, and the next level talks about safety, health, And the third one talks about relationship. Fourth one talks about esteem. And the fifth one talks about self-actualization. So if we are still struggling at the base level, how can we get to self-actualization? It will always seem to be a mirage. And it will continue being a mirage until those money trees come in. How do I know some of these things? Our community needs to be empowered. We have a prime minister now who is of Asian ascent, we understand. But how did he get there? A lot of the thing has to do with economic power. Economic power. I don't despise things like Black Lives Matter and everything, but for me, I find it to be retrogressive, because what you're saying is, please, we are weak, give us our rights. No, we should arise and grow our money trees, because once we begin to have economic power, things will begin to change. No one will look down at someone who has millions on his account, but people will look down at those people who have 60% crime among their youths. People will look down at people who there's life crime, and part of the reasons why all those things are happening is because we're so busy with this tree, just this one tree. It's time for us to have many trees so that we can have time to go to those youths and say, don't kill yourself. Why are you struggling? What's your trouble? I don't have money to feed. I don't have money for school. Take, I give you this. Economic power will come from growing money trees. It's so, you know in your heart, and that's why you are here, that you are meant for more. And the reason and the solution is to start growing those trees. I have a few other things to say, but because of time, I don't want to really talk too much. I'll just drop the last thing for us, is that some people might be saying that, and I've been there as well, I have challenges. It's good for you to say, you don't know about my situation. I don't know about all these things. I don't know how do I make the right investment. The last investment I made with Uncle Peter, he ended up being in debt. My NatWest credit card is due to that transaction. I have tried to do things on my own, but I failed. I even did one business and nobody's picking up my call because I was chasing them to buy products from me, things like that, network marketing. You may have tried many things in the past. You may even say, I don't have much time left. Look, I'm already 60. I'm thinking of retirement. You might even say, look, my debt is so much that I don't even know. After the debt goes out, I have little to survive. And you might even continue to say many other things like, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have. Those were the excuses that guy gave, that he didn't use his talent, he didn't use his gift. That's why Jesus focused on that, and that's why it's in the Bible. No wonder people who were able to buck the trend are people who had adverse backgrounds, people who suffered, had childhood bad experiences, but those experiences would not shape us. Those experiences wouldn't shape you. You've taken the first step to say, look, things may be bad, things may not be perfect, but today I'm making a change. I'm investing in understanding money, but don't just stop there. You have to take the action. Today, I want to employ us. Please start with one of the money trees. Don't just say, okay, I will do this next year. Your financial year end starts today. Your financial plan starts today. Speak to these people, mortgage advisors, financial strategies. Understand some benefits you may have. Some people don't know that if you register as a self-employed, you get some of your, your bills or some of your expenses, which will reduce your tax. So there are so many things you can do, but you need to speak out. Don't think you are alone. Don't think that, let me just hide under this tree, because it might look glamorous, but it is too small for what God has put in you. It's too small for what you know you can achieve. It's too small for the things God wants you to do and for what you want to do for yourself. It's not just about God. It's not just about other people. But it's for you to be satisfied, so that when you're at an old age, you can look back on your life and say, I didn't come here and go quietly. I'm leaving my mark in this world. I had challenges. I started with one tree, and in fact, that tree was almost like withered, but I made it work. That is the story people want to hear, and that's why you've been struggling with one tree. But it's time to move on. And I want to beg you, next year, as the speaker said, Bentley. You may not have Bentley from year one. It might be Ford Escorts. But guess what? It begins to ramp up. It begins to compound. But don't stop. Don't give up. Don't look down on yourself. I'm writing a book called Understanding Money, which will be for few selected people in this audience. Because I don't know about you. I've had so many books that I'm now thinking, should I throw them away? Should I throw it away at night so that nobody sees me? I've been carrying some of them for 12 years. They've been of no use. But we're writing a book which will give to people who are interested. And for me, the people who are interested are those who will register for either one money tree or register for a consultation. I'm not getting a penny back. But it's just because I'm passionate about this. I'm passionate about you. And that book will contain things like passive income investment. How do you go into dividend investing? How do you go into, so there'll be a lot. And I'll throw in one free book as well about 100 business ideas that you can use, think, and that might spark your creativity. And it's all free. I'm not getting a penny. But it's my own contribution to yourselves. Understanding Money has given me a lot, and I want to pay back. And I want by next year you to begin to pay back as well, so that we can reach more and empower more people. We want more Bentleys here. We don't want to be doing it here. Maybe we should go to Dubai.
Yes.
Or flying first class.
That's right.
That's how it should be.
That's right.
We didn't come here to be quiet, but you have to go for it. You have to arise. Now, please, can you just take your bag, start packing your bag.
Hey.
Just carry your bag.
Yes.
And someone should ask you, why are you carrying your bag? I'm in a hurry to go to plant those money trees.
Yeah.
But don't go yet. Stay for the speakers and plant those money trees. I may not be here to the end, but I'll be here next year, God willing. And I want to hear stories about how you've planted your tree. Enough of the self-pity. There isn't time for that. Bills don't care about what you think. What they care about is what you have in your account. They don't care about what you feel. They care about what is being felt in your account, how heavy it is. So it's time to arise. There will be taxes, there will be different things government is doing. You are independent of that because everybody is facing that challenge. So it's the baseline. But what will differentiate you is the money trees you plant. How many and how luscious they are. So thank you all. And plant your money tree today.